Water issues. Life in Africa is regulated by access to water for agriculture, domestic use and hydroelectric power. Many of the larger rivers are intentionally shared, for example the River Nile, creating potential for conflict between water users. Demand outstrips supply of water for 25% of Africans. However, enough water is available in most parts of Africa. Poverty is the key reason why millions have no access to safe and reliable water supplies. Water stress could lead to wars, global migrations and famine.
70% of the population are subsistence farmers, many of whom will not be able to feed themselves should water supplies dry up, pasture quality deteriorate or crops fail.
Action.
Natural resources. Poor people, especially those living in marginal environments, depend directly on the wild plants and animals to support their way of life. Loss of biodiversity due to climate change will threaten them.
Vector-borne diseases, for example malaria, and waterborne diseases, for example diarrhea, could increase with the climate change. Moreover, than 80% of our health services rely on wild plants for remedies which are under threat because of the global climate change.
Development of coastal zones. Movement of environmental refugees from the countryside puts pressure on the coastal zones, especially of North and West Africa. Refugees set up homes in shanty towns in cities such as Accra. I'm good, I can do this. Freetown and Lagos. Yeah. 60% of Africans live in coastal zones, many of which are at risk of coastal erosion and flooding. The threat from these is likely to increase as a result of rising sea level. If the coastal zones were flooded, much of the continent's infrastructure of roads and bridges and buildings would be lost.
Desertification is a major destroyer of grasslands. It is increased by unreliable or decreasing rainfall. Therefore, our new climate change will increase desertification.
At the root of Africa's vulnerability is poverty. 2/3 of least developed countries are located in Africa. The problem is made worse by conflicts, e.g. the Darfur in Sudan, where pastoralists are fighting arable farmers. An unjust trading system forces many countries to sell their exports, e.g. Mali cotton, at a low price to compete with the subsidized European and North American products. Above all, the burden of unpayable debt means that no money is available for the mitigation of climate impacts and the introduction of adaptive strategies.